Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Don't worry, we've not forgotten about the old 89, have we? So it's sat here kind of a little bit idle, a little bit sorry for itself because it kind of got thrown together, put in here, and then we started on this one, we started on this one. That's the point of my 3 bays. So this car is mine, it's the wife's car at the end of the day, and it's going to get done as fast as we want it to be done. This car has always been quite a financial drain, I guess is the best way to put it. It's had basically every single panel known to man. It's always been a back burner car in order for me to progress the channel and bring other projects to you guys. So there has absolutely been no time scale on this car whatsoever. One of the reasons why I bought the 72 Estate is so she had something to drive around in and stuff like that. So this car's been on the channel for a long time is what I'm trying to get at, guys. And yeah, it's time for it to kind of see its next part. All we have got left to do on it, and I'll take a quick walk around for it because I don't think I've walked around since it's been in the workshop, of kind of what we've got to do and what's left. It's basically minor welding. We've got bits and pieces that we need to do to it. So we'll grab the camera now, we'll go for a quick walk, and then we'll work out a game plan. So in the engine bay, you can see obviously we've painted up to the bottom of the bulkhead. You've got the new fuel lines. Great lines that Minimine made for us. Subframe's a bit dusty, but it's all black and painted. But the engine bay needs to be done, so we'll mask off this area. I've done it before this way. It's not conventional, but it is what it is. Everything's painted behind it, so we just got to paste the faces. What we have got to do in here is all of this is solid. Obviously, scuttle's all done. You can kind of see there. It's all painted and stuff like that. But obviously, we will paint this engine bay properly. All this black paint, I don't know what it is, but it picks off, and you can see the flame red paint underneath it. You can see I've got most of it off. But we have got this tiny little hole that was behind the brake master cylinder. Very, very common. So we're going to have to just put a little piece in there and get that sorted out. Moving around for the rest of the car, it doesn't really need anything else around here. The car itself is obviously fully painted on the underside. New. These have been done prior to our ownership and they're in really good shape. All I need to do is replace a hinge for some reason. One's already failed even though it was new. Quarter panel's all done, needs minor filler work to get it done. So yeah, quarter panel's all done, back panel is done, and you can see we've not even bothered like cleaning any of this back yet. We will address all this. It's covered in overspray, this car. We'll address all of this when we actually get on to kind of, paint and prep stage. But you might not have seen this, some of you new viewers to the channel. So we've got the Mark II boot lid fitted on a little elastic there, so it drops down nicely. And yeah, it's quite a nice little boot lid, this. I've basically mucked around with getting it fitting nice, and I'm quite happy with it now. A bit of a gap at the top, but we can work that out. We need to get the rubber fitted, and we've got the old cool number plate drop bracket, which will go on as well. But yeah, quite happy with it. It fits really nice and flush. Obviously, that's when it's pushed against the car, so should look quite good. Round to the rest of the car. This side, you can see I've been doing some work off the camera. This quarter wasn't replaced, but this lower section was. That lower section was. It needs a bit of filler to tidy everything up. But what I have been doing is, the first ever panel I put in this car was the doorstep, and it ran all the way along there, comes up here and joins in up there, and it was just so tight there. So what I've had to do is kind of relieve the gap a little bit, and I basically did that just by slitting it and knocking it back. So obviously it's a little bit wavy there, but with a tidy up properly, it's literally just covered in some primer. We can get sorted. But yeah, so I'm really happy. This door fits really nice. So it pops open nicely. You can see on there I've got the door rubber fitted in there, and I've been trying it, to make sure it's nice, and it closes really nice. Got lovely gaps and stuff like that. So the doors, like I say, they're just going to get bare metaled and repainted. They're absolutely solid. Someone did it prior to us. Other than the paint, the welding needs to be done in the engine bay. We've got a teeny little hole up here to deal with. The exact same on the parallel corner over there. And then we've got these little bits to address. So what we'll do is cut a little section out, and we'll make a new bit of steel to go up in them. That's what we'll get sorted. there we have it, all smoothed back. Bit of a tricky repair, but nice and simple. So I've just stitched it along there, and it's yeah, quite smooth, that, to be fair. Quite happy with that. So yeah, obviously you'll just get, once I do the engine bay prep, I'll just put a light skin filler over that, but no big hole and rust. So all you really got to do inside this engine bay is get a wire wheel just on this bit of surface rust, but the rest of it I've sorted and dealt with. But yeah, pretty happy with that. Right, next welding repair will be the roof. Let's get going with that. But first of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate this thing and how much hard work it has done. It's now dead, but it's 3 years over its hourly warranty. It's a sad day, this. But it's always time for an upgrade. The new bad boy on the block. So this is Bertha number 3, I think, since SCLASSX has been going. Right, so I have been a little bit busy, I will confess. Merely just trying to get my head around I'm going to do this repair. So I've cut out the rust, basically. So we've got the biggest section here cut out. And then what I've done is I've got a scrap roof, which I've cut the guttering out. And that's going to sit in there. So yeah, obviously I'm quite fortunate I have that. But it's quite curved if you look at it, the profile. And obviously just taking a body cut from that car, cleaning it up, and get that in. So all this rubbish can go. And then we've got kind of a few small versions of this to do all the way along here, and then clean back, make sure we're good. And that's the first bit done. All the rest of the gutter around the side of the car isn't corroded like this. Someone's already repaired this back piece before me, so it just needs tidying up. But the rest of the back of the car is kind of pretty decent. There's no like damage to it. It's bare the roof. This is basically due to that plastic roof trim that Minis have. So we'll get that repaired. We might not have to cut some of this out. We might just get away with kind of building it up a little bit of weld, but just make sure the corrosion's out, because I've rust treated this. That's why it's got the primer on it. But that was definitely the worst bit there. So let's get set up and let's get working, and yeah, get this to the next stage. Right, so there we have it, guys. There's that section I've put in. I'm pretty happy with that. So it's not perfect along here. Someone has put a section in here before me, and that's right where the clip would be for the roof guttering. So it is going to require just a skimper filler across this roof gutter to make it look uniform and nice, because we're not going to put a gutter trim back on this. This is going to be red, and then the roof will be black. So we want it to be nice. It was quite mad when if you look through there, you can see like all the different colours. So there's the original red, and then on the roof, you can see where the original red and white joined. So obviously it would have been flame red, white roof this. But yeah, what I've done is where the little nicks were, where it just corroded, I've just cleaned it all back. Like I said, I treated all this prior to this, and just nipped it all in with a bit of weld and dressed it back. So that's the guttering sorted. Like I say, this is the front bit was the only bad bit. So now I'm just gonna get a wire wheel in there and clean that out.
Right, so what I did is put a little bit of weld in there to get rid of the hole, and then I've got like a die bit on the trusty old Dremel, the old faithful. Can't beat this. And then just ran it over there, and now we've got, obviously we'll tidy this back up a bit more, but you can now run your finger around there. It's not sharp, it's not got a hole or anything, so buzzing with that. Right, I think that's the job's done. Saved. Right guys, that brings this episode to a close. So, little bits and pieces really. There's stuff that I knew I needed to do while it was on the jig maybe, but we just focused on moving to this workshop. So that actually is quite a big milestone for this car. The welding on this car is done. Finito, done, it's gone. It's a big weight off my shoulders. But what's going to happen next with this vehicle is probably what you're thinking. So I'll tidy all this back, get it in primer, address it back. We've got a lot of filling work and bits and pieces to sort out on this car to get paint stage. Now it's at this point, the car is going to get moved out of this bay. Basically I need to focus on building my paint area. While we're doing that, obviously we're going to crack on with the Mayfair next to it to get that to the same stage as this. But this obviously is a work bay and I'm done with this for now. It needs filling, sanding, painting, filling, sanding, painting before we even think about putting paint on it. But I don't want to do that this side of winter because I want to focus my effort, my funds on making that a nice clean room, because there's no point painting this in half-assed conditions basically. It's been this long, it's not going to matter if it's another few months. So that's the fill welding done on this car. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this series, please go back on, if you haven't seen everything for a start, go back and watch everything else. But if you've enjoyed it, please consider a thumbs up. This is the wife's car. It's a bit of a labour of love. It is one of them. It's a slow project, but as soon as we start prep on it, we'll bring you guys back in. So we're not getting rid of it, obviously. But there, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. The community we're building on this channel is absolutely epic, and I absolutely love it. Remember to check out both of our sponsors. We've got Minimine for your classic mini needs, and obviously this car has got a lot of Minimine parts on it, and we'll have even more. And Frost Restoration for all your consumables, all your bits and bobs like that, and everything in the link description below will get you to the discount code for both of those companies. I want to leave you with some pictures of this, like some kind of slow-mos and bits and pieces of this car, because it's been a big one. So we are now at a welded shell. Thank you for watching guys. Catch you in the next one.